It is Katie Malco and the current single Babette featuring Soak. And I was noticing online that Katie has a whole range of amazing looking merch. I spend far too much of my time just kind of looking at things like merch and thinking, oh, maybe should I? And then, the bank balance disagrees and takes me aside and says, no, you can't buy every band T-shirt that there is in existence. But I do suggest you go and have a look. It looks really, really cool. She's just been on tour in the US. It is Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and live in the studio tonight, I have the one and only Ben Brown. He played as part of The Remedy recently with Bull and absolutely blew everybody away. And this is the title track of the new EP, which came out recently through Extra Mile Recordings. This is Ben Brown with Blue on Radio X.
Hey, you're a master.
Thank you.
It's a nice, I don't know what you'd call it, like cadence or like rhythm to the way that you have to deliver the lines.
Well, when it works, often it's stumbling all over the place and...
Yeah, it's quite satisfying to listen to.
Good. That's great.
Probably why you've got the job, I guess.
Yeah, cheap. I think that's...
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, so did you say I'll play after this one? Or?
Yeah, so we'll have a chat and then, I'll say, and you're going to play us the first song, and then you can introduce it, tell us what it's about if you want to. Or...
So you might get a phone call and they'd be like, oh, it's a phone, John.
I'll just ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because we don't really give out the number anymore, and occasionally we get a call and you can see the phone flashing and you just ignore it, because in the old days you would give out the number and people would call regularly, but now you don't really give out the number, so there shouldn't be anybody calling.
Yeah.
And so it's clearly somebody who's somehow got it, because I'm sure it's the case now, but you get quite a lot of crazy people listening to the radio, and often when they want to get in touch with the station, it's because they want to interact with somebody.
Yeah.
And, can end up being a kind of surrogate.
Yeah, like
Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
Which is fine, obviously, that's nice,
Yeah.
but it's funny. I've made that mistake in the past. When you
what,
pick up the phone, it's like, I just wanted to talk to somebody. It's quite...
Oh, and you're live on air and you have...
Yeah. Well, I when a record's playing or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because you kind of don't feel it so much now, but in the old days, a phone would ring and you think, oh, it must be important, somebody's ringing. It's like your parents would always immediately pick the phone up. Now we all just ignore it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Ben Brown with Blue on Exposure Radio X, the title track of the EP, which is out now. And I'm very pleased to say that Ben is here. Hello, Ben.
Yay. Hello, John. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here. And thanks so much for playing that gig. So about a month ago, you played as part of The Remedy, which is at Signature Brew Haggerston. I had a band called Bull playing from York. And you saw that this gig was happening, and your mates and fan of Bull and got in touch and said, oh, can I play too? And I've been loving this EP. So I immediately said, yes, of course, that would be great.
Thank you so much for asking me. That was a wonderful gig to play at, and Bull were fantastic.
Yeah, and you were great. I mean, it was really exciting, and because I hadn't seen you play, and you just kind of warmed the hearts of everybody there, and it was fantastic.
I believe I claimed it was my first ever trip to London.
You did, and you did it so convincingly that I kind of went away thinking, Really? I mean, he kind of lives in Essex, which isn't very far from London, but he'd never been to London, and he's been in various bands, and surely they've gigged here. But you did that really. I really believed you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lie because actually today is my first visit to London.
I love that idea, though, that everywhere you go, you can say, it's the first time I've come here.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's somewhere like London, a lot of people have visited London, although I did meet somebody in the summer, actually, who'd never been to London, and lives in the UK and stuff. Which was really interesting. But anyway, we digress. Yeah. So I've been playing your music on the radio in different incarnations for quite a long time with two bands, Superglue and Dingus Khan. But this is your debut solo EP.
Yeah, and thank you very much for playing all of my stuff for many years.
My absolute pleasure. The bands are great, and this EP is great. So. What happened? Was it about time that you did something on your own?
It was the pandemic, and whilst everyone else during the pandemic had learnt new skills and hobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah, everybody's multilingual now.
Yeah, multilingual, learn how to bake things or learn how to some obscure hobby. Yeah. All I really did was get fat. And as the restrictions were being somewhat lifted, I thought I better start learning all the songs from the bands because hopefully we'll be able to do gigs again.
Yeah.
But because I had a kind of, I forgot how long it was now, 2-3 years of quietness really and solitude. When I picked up the guitar, I kind of wanted to play it quietly rather than plugged in. And I was just sat in my living room. So these songs kind of were born of that time. And then I was performing at a barbecue and Frank Turner was there and he heard me playing these songs and he said, I'll record them. Well, he says it was a house party, but I remember it was a barbecue.
Right.
He said, I'll record them.
And this is in Essex?
Yeah.
Because you are kind of neighbours, is that right? Because you live on an island? No, I might be making this up.
He lives on Mersey Island.
Right.
And I live in Manningtree, which is the smallest town in England.
Right.
And we're not very far away, so it's just a chance that he was at this barbecue party.
Yeah.
And offered to record these tracks. And I thought, okay, well, he's a kind of a pop star, rock star. It might not happen. But then he texted me and said, shall we do it? And then he kind of G'd me up and got me along to the session. And here we are today.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, he did a great job. The EP sounds really, really good. And it really brings out the beautiful melodies that you've got and highlights the wonderful words. And we're going to hear a kind of solo version of that tonight. So you've got the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And you're going to sing us some songs. So what's the first song you're going to do?
The first thing I'll sing is my current single, Let Go. I came up with this one whilst walking along the Stour estuary and imagining being at a party and kind of seeing two people sort of fall out a bit. And then from that, it kind of extrapolates out into slightly surrealist images, I suppose.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. So I'll play it now.
Yeah, this is Ben Brown then, live on Exposure Radio X with Let Go. It's the new single and it's on the EP.
Let's go. Is that enough? She's walking over to a friend who's acting tough. He says it's over, you reply, it seems so soon. Then turn around and walk out of the room. Is that enough for you? You're laying down. 1 million thoughts are rushing round inside your head. 1 million possibly stupid things you said. Like sometimes how you wish that you were dead when you were drunk, so dumb. In your pocket's a button that burst off your shirt that you'll never sew on. Blame the needle, the color of red, 'cause the stars cussing up on your phone. Letting go, holding on. Yeah, you gotta let go. Sometimes things ain't worth it, yeah. You know you'll never know till you do. Yeah, then you let go's like a different kind of perfect. You will know that it's true. 1 million fireflies make their way towards the moon. 1 million hopes that hang from one hot air balloon. And in the glow you're letting go of everything you've ever known. Yeah, you've gotta let go. Sometimes things ain't worth it, yeah. You know you'll never know till you do. Yeah, then you let go. It's like a different kind of perfect. You will know that it's true.
Exposure with John Kennedy.
This is
Yeah, you've gotta let go. Might not make a difference, still you know you'll never know till you do. Yeah, then you let go. It's like a different kind of perfect. You will know that it's true. And you'll sing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Ben Brown performing live on Exposure at Radio X with Let Go, which is the current single from the Blue EP. And I must apologise to you, Ben, because I was just trying to take a photo, an intimate close-up, and I triggered a jingle that played. So I'm really sorry about that.
No.
That's proof it's live radio. It's so embarrassing. That's never happened before. I was trying, I thought, wow, this is a different angle. I'll try this one. And my hand touched the screen.
I enjoyed it. It's a remix.
Yeah, live.
Collab.
Amazing. Such a beautiful song. And I mean, I love the melodies that you seem to come up with. You know, and this is just walking along. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So I was kind of like walking along. I had what often happens. Well, sometimes I might have a little earworm, but sometimes I'll kind of walk along and develop a kind of a picture in my head of the scene or of the song in a way. And what I can then do, almost like a zoom on a camera, is either zoom in or zoom out. That's how I kind of like find the themes and the images of the song.
Yeah.
And then melody wise, yeah, just things which I find like that. That's almost like trying to catch a butterfly or something for me. When
Right.
it's coming up, it's like, oh, where's this going? It's going up here. Oh, it's gone all the way up here. So it's kind of like a chasing, not quite chasing a marble that's like rolling around.
Yeah.
In a way.
That's
I don't know
really
how to
interesting.
describe it,
But they're kind of instant hooks as well. They're instant sing-alongs, these songs. You know, even if they aren't the words, you know, people can really latch on to those melodies really quite quickly, which is really impressive. And I love the way that, you know, on the recording of that, there's a lovely bit of trumpet, but you do your own kind of mouth trumpet.
Yeah, I do a mouth trumpet on that, and then I one of my very good friends, Matt Simpkins, who I did an album with called Piss a Bed Prophet, which is, piss a bed's an old word for dandelion, so it sounds like it's a swear word, but it's not. And he is a musical mastermind, and he wrote out the trumpet part that I was playing, and made a little arrangement for the trumpet to go alongside it on the record.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was recording it, I thought maybe I won't do the mouth trumpet, but we decided, no, the mouth trumpet has to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's fun, and it's another element, and it's another surprise. I think that's one of the great things about watching that performance at the Remedy recently, was that each song was a surprise, the way you did it. You know, each time you had a different approach to how you were going to communicate, and I thought that was brilliant.
I think that when good live performance contains an element of mild peril, whether you're watching a band and you think, wow, what's going to happen? Are they going to fall apart on stage? Or you're watching someone perform and you think, I don't quite know what's going to happen. So it keeps you kind of keeps you engaged. And I hope that that's what I enjoy. So I hope that I'm able to provide a kind of slight, not an uneasy, but like psychological when you're listening, thinking, "Oh, I don't know what's coming next," so I'll stay and invest in it.
Yeah. Well, I think that really happened that night.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. Right, and it's going to happen tonight. We're going to take a break. We've got more from Ben on the way.
Exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I thought I'd never really done it before. I thought, this this could be really good.
Do you know, sometimes it's weird. Like things that actually made me feel. Sometimes when I'm playing, because also if we play the songs quite a lot, some of it becomes almost like muscle memory. And once then you start to think. You look at it and it becomes almost like it's disembodied.
Yeah.
You sometimes need something.
Yeah, like if you were with a crowd, then you'd be looking at them and
and you'd see something and it kind of like makes it. So when little things like that happen, it kind of snaps you back into like
That's
making
really
sure
interesting.
you're playing it right.
Yeah. Wow.
And this was in your way as well.
That's all right. It's okay.
It looked good though because you've got the guitar case going that way, the guitar going the other way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Oh, that's
Well, I assumed that was all planned.
no. Good observation.
Yeah, you've got an aesthetic eye.
Yeah.
The outfit, of
Yeah,
the guitar symmetry.
Just naturally did that.
This winter, you could hibernate like a bear until next spring.
So your shows always at this time then?
Yeah, they are these days. Yeah, so
Wow.
Friday and Saturday live from 11 p.m. But they used to be Monday to Thursday from 10 p.m. through to 1.
Yeah.
That for many years, like 20 years or something. Yeah, and I do this new show now. So I've got the 2 shows at the weekend, and then I've got this show called Exposure Daily, which is available via the app Global Player, and that's just 1 hour long, and that's just all the new tunes that have arrived. But that's quite good, and I actually record that at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I send it to them here, and then they upload it, and it actually goes out on FM in Manchester at 2 a.m. And then once it's done that, then it's available on the Global Player to stream or download for a week. But it's a workaround because it's in this really podcasts with music are in a kind of grey area where the licensing for those hasn't been sorted out.
Yeah.
So people are reluctant to use music in podcasts. But if you've already aired the show with the music on the radio, then that's okay, and you pay your PRS accordingly and all that kind of stuff. So when I came up with the idea, my boss came up with this workaround of how we could do it, which was really good. Because after what happened was that, in a way, after doing this show for a long time, every single week, it's alright, I'll just press a button.
Exposure with John Kennedy.
For whatever reasons, they decided to move me to the weekend, and that in effect cut my hours by half, which initially was a change, and in some ways a change is good, but it also cut 2 things. It cut my income, and it cut the amount of time I had to play music. So after a while of doing that, it's like, God, this is actually really frustrating, because I've gone from having 12 hours a week to 6 hours, and there's just not enough time to play everything. And I was trying to work out a way of kind of getting some more hours, and came up with this idea. And luckily, he was kind of into it, and so that was launched a year ago. So that, and it's quite good. It's kind of it's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's, I'm now at 10 hours a week as opposed to 12, and as opposed to 6. So
yeah, that's good.
But,
and what's your setup at home then? Have you got a mic like this?
yeah, kind of I've got a Neumann, but it's of a equivalent quality.
Well, they're good.
Yeah, really, it's a really good mic. So I do this podcast called Take Notes, which is all about.
I know. I love that.
Right.
That's so
the
good.
Take Notes team kind of gave me this mic to use for other recording for Take Notes, and so I use that to record Exposure Daily. But it's really good.
How did that happen then, the Tape Notes thing?
Well, some people I knew who used to run a small festival in on the border of Sussex and Kent, called In the Woods. I was the compere for that event, so it was in a quarry, a kind of really small quarry within a wood, so it had a kind of natural kind of amphitheatre where it had been hollowed out a bit.
Yeah, cool.
And they would have 2 stages, and it grew to 1,000 people, but it never got beyond that, and it ran for quite a few years, about 10 years. And for most of that time I was the compere for it, and I would introduce, they never had any clashes, so I'd introduce one band on the main stage, and then there'd be the smaller stage which was only a few feet away, so then everybody would kind of go around the wood, and they'd have to kind of go around this little path, but I could cut through the wood and emerge and say, and now we have this other band. So anyway, at that time they had they recorded some sessions in a barn, and one of them had done this music production course, and they were trying to work out ways of working out what they could do with all these sessions, and they thought, oh well, let's do a podcast and we'll have them in that. And then one thing led to another. They came up with this idea that was a bit kind of inspired by that Beatles anthology program. Did you ever see that? So that was kind of part of the inspiration. And then when they thought of doing something like that, where you dig into how things were recorded and explored the relationship between a producer and an artist, then they thought, oh well, maybe that's something John would be interested in doing. So, that's kind of how it came about. Again, long-winded stories every time, but and so it's now been going quite a long time.
Yeah, it's really fantastic.
I've been waiting for the end.
It is Porridge Radio with God of Everything Else, the new single from the new album, which is out now. You're listening to Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and with me tonight is Ben Brown. You've already performed one song. You're going to play us another one now. What's the next one you're going to do?
This next one's called Kathmandu.
Oh, this is one of my favourites, I think.
Hey.
Is it a true story?
No, it's not. It's not. It's another lockdown, pandemic, imagining a story. It's another imagined story, basically, of what sounds like quite a jovial character going around the world, going to Kathmandu. But if you listen a little closer, as Catalina, who is with me here, revealed, it's actually kind of a philandering man, going about, kind of maybe living a vacuous lifestyle, drinking mojitos, and then falling in and out of fast relationships.
Right.
But that's not. That's not. I'm not. That's not.
I
me.
had a much more romantic interpretation where he met the love of his life.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. But Catalina later explained to me actually what she hears, and she's always right. So,
but that's the great thing about writing songs that are stories that you create. In a way, because they can be whatever, and they're not necessarily you revealing and pouring out your soul, as we so often think.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, that's something that it's kind of a misconception that quite often you think an artist is writing completely from their experience. I think there's elements of my experience and elements of things that I am interested in there. But when you hear people like Randy Newman or someone like that, he would be writing a story.
Yeah.
Or it's liberating to kind of sometimes it's a good creative tool to try and write as if you were someone else. I once wrote a song which I don't play much now, but I was quite happy with it at the time. One day I'll probably play it, and I couldn't quite get it over the line. I thought, well, this sounds kind of corny. Sounds almost like a Bruce Springsteen song, and I pretended to be Bruce Springsteen and walked around the room, and then I actually managed to get to the point where I'd finished it and thought this is quite good, and I could work some of it back, make it less Bruce Springsteen and more Ben Brown. So sometimes writing from the point of view as a character, or even performing a song as a character and then reclaiming it as your own.
Yeah,
this can be like
this is great. People are getting tips. For how to work with their songwriting.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think we should hear it. So this will be Kathmandu. It's Ben Brown live on Exposure Radio X.
Left my heart in Kathmandu. What's a boy like me to do? Should he meet a girl like you? Climb the mountain high, roam the valley low. Forward roll across across the dance floor with no particular place to go. Left my heart in Kansas too. What's a boy like me to do? Should he meet a woman just like you? Shimmy to one side, stand on tippy toes, forward roll across the dance floor with no particular place to go. I got this feeling that you and me ain't gonna be dancing tonight. I've got this feeling that you and me ain't gonna be dancing tonight. Hey, 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 I left my heart, hey, hey, in the backseat of your car yesterday when you drove away. Hey, you drove real far. Hey, hey, you had my heart, you had my heart. I called up my baby, said I'm heading out of town. She said that's a shame, 'cause I like having you around. Can you pass me the water, 'cause my mouth's a little dry? Can you pass me a tissue, because I'm about to cry? 'Cause I've got this feeling that you and me ain't gonna be dancing tonight. Hey, 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 I left my heart, hey, hey, in the backseat of your car yesterday when you drove away. Hey, you drove real far. Hey, hey, you had my heart, you had my heart. You had my heart, you had my heart.
Absolutely fantastic. Ben Brown performing live on Exposure Radio X with Kathmandu, one of the songs that features on the Blue EP, which is out now on Extra Mile Recordings. I'm just looking at the clock, Ben, and I've got to take an ad break, but you're able to stick around and you're going to play another song.
Yeah, I'd love
and
to.
in fact, you've just sent me a demo of a song that you wrote and recorded in an hour, and I'm going to play it tonight because it sounded fantastic. So we'll find out more about that in just a moment. A world exclusive, folks, from Ben Brown, and so much more.
Yeah, that one felt good.
Yeah, it sounded great. I can see the dark side now.
I was recording and I pressed the button, so I lost like a second of continuity. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Right.
But it's here.
Like we have the backup cam.
Yeah, you can cut away.
Yeah, have both. Yeah. Will we have the sound? Cool.
Oh, what, on the camera?
No, on the.
Oh,
I can send. I'm recording it, so I could send you all of this to you.
Yeah, so
it's
we
just
can
from the
do-
desk, so it, but I won't be edit. Well, I won't edit it, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Your tape note podcast was quite inspiring to me to like start
great.
doing like demos and stuff like this.
Right.
So I'm sure there's probably loads of musicians out there who.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's the idea, really, is to inspire people, encourage people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been great fun, and I get some really brilliant feedback. So many people love it.
Yeah, because that whole world of music production and that kind of stuff can feel quite daunting.
Yeah.
So that the way you kind of unpack it, it's almost like a soft entry into the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm very much the somebody who doesn't know anything at all.
That's how most musicians are when they're trying to work out how to do it, so it's quite that kind of we're with you. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, exactly. That's the idea, you know. And I think that, you know, rather than have an expert,
Yeah.
you've got me.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But you know, so I can be a bit thick, and because there's a lot of you know, terminology and stuff that people might not be familiar with.
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the great things about it is just hearing how ultimately all these creative people are often just trying things out.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, yeah.
and having the courage to do it and then
Yeah.
share with people, which
Yeah.
is quite a big thing.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the you know, apart from the technical details that they sometimes go into, the idea that no, anybody can do this.
Yeah.
No.
Just push, trying, like consistently trying, and then pushing forward.
Yeah. And how trying to like you have obviously done with that new song is trying to going with the flow and
Yeah.
you know, capturing that moment just in
Yeah.
case, you know, because it might be rubbish, but it might be really good.
Yeah, yeah. I should show you it, Katerina. John's podcast. He does. You find it interesting, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sorry, I was
That's right.
No, that's
somewhere else.
It's nearly midnight.
yeah.
I know. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So you're originally from Colombia then?
I am, yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how did you end up here in
Because
the UK?
I married someone else. I was married to someone,
Right,
but that was 7 years ago.
right.
So
A British person.
yeah, and I moved here because he had young children,
Right.
small children,
Yeah.
and I was happy and free before, and so I moved here because of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
happy
But
and
then you
free.
didn't. You were happy and free.
Yeah, I was living in Mexico actually.
Right. Oh, okay.
Happy and free. Met him. I thought I was going to be happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't. So we broke up,
Yeah.
and then I'm with them.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Wow.
I stayed because it was difficult to start all over again. Obviously, I have my experience and my life and my
Yeah.
art, but starting over here was so tough.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here.
Right. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Rather than go back to
So
Mexico
this is my
or
home.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I got my I'm now a British citizen.
Right.
Officially.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Since Thursday.
So you had to answer lots of silly questions about stuff that nobody knows.
I had to learn so much stuff.
Yeah.
John would
Yeah.
probably find quite interesting the way that you met your now
About
partner.
music over Joseph K.
Joseph K. the band.
The band.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said, "What is a Colombian woman
It's
and
on
living in
over a chat-
Mexico?"
on the chat room forum.
In a chat room. No, it was like a music forum thing.
Yeah.
Talking about Joseph K.
Wow.
And that's how we connected.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. But
Yeah.
music's a brilliant way of bringing people together.
It is, isn't it?
So there's this website called exposuretracklist.net where all the track lists for my show go up, because years ago on XFM we used to put all the track lists up,
Yeah.
but then they decided they didn't want to do that, so that was abandoned. And then I've got a regular listener in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and so when she was working from home during the pandemic, she started this website to put all the track lists up, because she felt that was something she wanted, and she thought other people would want it too. So now this is what she does. But we've met. She came over to the UK about 10 years ago or something. So she's been listening for a long time. But she does this all of her own accord. She works for a bank in Sao Paulo. But she knows so much about really obscure British music and
Yeah.
from all over the world. You know, things that I would, a bit like Joseph K. Like I remember her commenting on this band from 1980 called The Chords, and it's like aware of this one hit that they had. And it's like, wow, it's just crazy stuff. It is Wonder Horse with Rain. You're listening to Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and with me tonight is Ben Brown. And Ben is still here.
Yay.
He has his guitar. He's telling us some stories and singing us some songs. And there's important stuff we need to relay to people because you've got lots of live dates coming up. So you're going on tour with Skinny Lister this month and into December. And then early in the new year, you're going to be on tour with Pet Needs.
Yeah.
Then you've got some support slots with Frank Turner as well.
Yeah.
And then I think the plan is by May of next year, there'll be a headline tour of your own.
Yeah, headline tour, UK tour, and then there'll probably be other things. And then this time next year, it will be an extensive tour of everywhere, I believe.
Right, across the whole of the UK.
Yeah. It's Sunday now, John.
Yeah, I guess it is Sunday. I was just tapping in to see when these dates are for Skinny Lister. And I'm just going to get them up in front of me so that they're starting in quite soon. If I
Next week.
Let me. It's somewhere. What date is it today? So now it's 16th into the 17th. So it's they're currently on the road with Frank Turner in Spain, and then from the 23rd of November they're touring with you. And that first date is in Bristol at Thekla. And then they're on to the O2 Academy in Oxford, and then they're to Manchester and Birmingham and Cardiff and York and Newcastle and Aberdeen and Edinburgh and Nottingham and Exeter. You've got a busy time ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
Portsmouth, London. It's non-stop. So, yeah, well, I hope that goes well.
Yeah, me too. I've got a reliable Skoda Roomster with a 1.9 engine, which I picked up on Facebook Marketplace. And that transports us for 650 quid, which is a really good price. And that's transported us everywhere thus far without any major worries. So hopefully it'll be fine for these ones as well.
Yeah.
No rattles or kind of creaks or anything like that.
That's great. That's really good. I mean, they're a fantastic live band, and their audience is always so brilliant. So, I think I'm going to have a ball.
Do they drink lots of kind of cider and stuff? I've seen they've got flagons and things like that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know them that well, but I mean...
In the images, they've got kind of flagons and it's quite...
It sounds like you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to play us another song. So tell us about this one.
This one is called Dancing with Our Eyes Closed. Again, not again, but this is one where I kind of had an image in my head. This is a weird one. The image in my head I have for this song is just in slow motion, a cat almost shot from the passenger seat, from the driver's seat of a car, looking out towards the front door of, I don't know, potentially a date or something like that, or waiting for someone to come out. And in my head, the camera slowly is zooming in throughout the entirety of the song. It'd be a very cheap music video to make. But yeah, wrote this one on my sofa after work when I was working at. I was working for an auction house at the time.
Right.
So it's quite random things to say before playing.
Yeah, well,
they don't
why
really add
not?
to the song really, but
We can picture you on the sofa now.
Yeah.
Daydreaming.
Daydreaming. Yeah, well, I didn't like the job at the auction house, so I think that's where I was daydreaming of this. Again, another kind of fictitious tale.
Yeah, I love it. Fantastic. And you're going to play it for us now. So this is Ben Brown playing Dancing with Our Eyes Closed live on Exposure Radio X.
Well, do you wanna come on over, put a record on the player? I do anything, pick you up in half an hour, turn it up a little louder. Soon then we'd be dancing with our eyes closed, dancing with our eyes closed, dancing with our eyes. Like to take you out for dinner, breakfast, lunch, whatever, who knows? Swap that glass of water for something a little stronger. He goes. Now we're dancing with our eyes closed, dancing with our eyes closed, dancing with our dancing with her. Now shut your eyes, what do you see? I shut my eyes and I see you standing there. You call me in, I don't know just how long it's been since we've been dancing with our eyes closed, together moving so slow. Now you're standing on my toes, dancing with our eyes closed.
Beautiful. What a lovely song. It is Ben Brown performing live on Exposure Radio X with Dancing with Our Eyes Closed. If you like the sound of that, the Blue EP is out now. And if you look at the picture that comes with it, you are blue.
Yeah.
Was that a task?
Well, when I was invited to release this EP on Extra Mile Records at quite short notice, so Catalina and I, who's an artist, and my partner, we had to rush to create the images for the album. And we thought, well, it's called, well, okay, we'll call it Blue. Okay, well, what should we do? And I went onto the internet and bought as many blue things I could. I was going to charity shops, picking up blue items of clothing. And then we ultimately decided just to kind of put on a blue boiler suit. I think I painted my face blue. I don't know if that's the image you've got there.
Yeah,
and painted a wall outside my back door blue and got as many blue items as possible and kind of, yeah. So it was a rush to make it all, really. And
yeah. Well, it looks really cool. Although I just wondered, what was it like having a blue face and then having to scrub all the blue paint off?
It's as it dries. So you put it on and you layer it up with a sponge, and it feels quite nice as it goes on, like it's been licked by a cat or something with a smooth tongue. That's a weird thing to think of it. and then the paint slowly dries on your face. And you can feel it, and it makes your skin kind of slightly taut and almost a bit itchy. But you can't touch it because otherwise you'll have to put more on.
Yeah.
So it was quite a nice experience being painted blue. I think the guys or the Blue Man group, I think they use an oil paint,
right?
A certain type of oil paint, which is quite hard to get off. And we nearly bought that, but it was a lot more expensive, and we went for a kind of a more kind of clown type face paint.
Right. Interesting. More tips for people, just in case they want to paint their face a colour. And why wouldn't they want to do that? But Ben, you when you arrived today, you said, "Oh, I've just recorded this song, and I wrote it and recorded it in an hour, and I thought you might want to play it on the radio." Tell me more about this, because it's quite a story, and it sounds fantastic.
Well, I have a small studio space in East Burgolt, Black Cactus Studios, and I knew I was coming into the session this weekend, and I thought, well, I'll just try and write a song as quickly as I can. And sometimes that's quite a good way to write a song or create something in general. Just get on with it and try not to think too much. I put down the first 3 chord progressions that came to mind. So you've got a verse and a chorus and a kind of another section, and just kind of went with it. And I think because I didn't aim to write a song about the radio, but because I was coming here, I think that was in my mind, and that's what kind of was chucked out. And then I thought I'd send it over to you and see if you'd like to play it. I've kind of been inspired a bit by some of your sessions on tape notes, where you're kind of like diving into how people work and how people come up with stuff. And I just kind of thought, well, I'll have a go and just get on with it, because that's basically what you have to do, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
that's brilliant.
And then
that's
I've sent it to you, and it's like the kind of the archetypal dream of writing and recording a song and then sending it to the radio and then it's going to get played.
But I love the idea that you did this in an hour, and in anticipation, just for a laugh, kind of, let's see what it's like with the idea of the radio being in your mind. So what day was it last week you were doing this?
Oh, I did this. Oh, so Saturday. So I think I did it. I didn't do it yesterday, did I? Was it the day before?
So Thursday or Friday?
At
wow.
About kind of 10 p.m. or something.
Right.
Because Catalina was saying, come home, come home. Kathleen texted me saying, come home. And I said, I'll be home in a minute. And I just started I shouldn't have, but I just started making a song.
Amazing. So on Thursday, we'll say it's Thursday.
Yeah.
That was 14th of November.
Yeah.
At about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You got an idea, and by 11 o'clock, it was written and recorded.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play it now.
Yeah.
So this is brand spanking new, a world exclusive new song from Ben Brown, and it's called Radio On.
Yeah.
If we can get it to work. This is my computer playing. Because we've been talking so much. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for playing this, John.
It sounds great.
It's recorded for I used to have a little gardening business. I've got going through all my old jobs now.
Right.
And someone I worked with, when I had bigger jobs, I'd get this guy called Liam to come along.
Yeah.
We'd kind of do it together. And he once gave me, he said, I've got this. This old microphone that would be used for plugging into a tape player that you use to kind of say, don't forget to buy milk or something.
Right.
And that's the microphone I used to record.
Oh, really?
record this
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's a bit like a post-punky thing.
But it sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you. I bet it'll sound good for all the compression as well on there.
Yeah, hopefully. It sounds really good, though. It's kind of like eels or something like that.
Yeah.
Has that kind of a feel.
Yeah.
And also with that mic, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should try and do an album in this kind of...
You get definitely some more recordings.
Yeah. Like a little...
Yeah. Amazing. It's a hit, if you ask me. It's a hit. It is Ben Brown with Radio On, a song recorded last Thursday, we think, in an hour, written and recorded in an hour, and conjuring up the eels, I think. No, maybe.
Well, that's a lovely comparison. I hadn't thought of that, so thank you very much.
You were explaining that the mic you used to sing into
Yeah.
was from a...
So I used to have a gardening business, and when I had to do bigger jobs, like kind of cutting down a tree or something, I'd bring with me my friend Liam, and Liam used to kind of give me odd things, and he gave me this box with an old microphone in it, and the box was so old that all of the felt was all the foam kind of, when foam just turns to dust. But I plugged it in, and that's the microphone. I've got some other slightly nicer microphones, but I'm always drawn to this kind of odd-sounding one.
It's got a really interesting sound. Sounds really cool.
I'm just drawn to it, and the guitar's there. So normally when you record an electric guitar, you point the microphone at the guitar amp. I went to record my guitar with a microphone pointed at the amp, and I didn't realise that I'd actually routed the microphone, which was this dictaphone mic, which was actually on the table facing the ceiling. So all the guitars are recorded with a microphone, with a microphone facing the amp, which wasn't turned on, and the microphone that I'd put on the desk that was facing the ceiling. So that's all the guitars are recorded.
Wow.
That, and I thought, this sounds a bit weird. Again,
But it sounds really good. That's and you wouldn't have thought of that, really. It's kind of against the logical thought about how to record it.
Yeah, it made me laugh, and then I thought, well, if it sounds good to me, then if it sounds good, it is good. I think.
Yeah.
There's lots of rules and stuff like that, but
Yeah. Well, I think it sounds great, and I always think, in some ways, it's worth writing a song with radio mentioned.
Yeah.
Because people on the radio love playing songs with radio in them. And just as it's a really good idea to have some kind of maybe Christmas themed song and a Valentine's Day
forgot
themed
that.
song,
Yeah.
maybe a birthday themed song.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that it means they're forever relevant.
Yeah. If I get an hour next week, I should do a Christmas one.
Yeah. Well, Christmas is coming.
Christmas tree on. Turn the Christmas lights on. You'll get it. You'll be getting everything.
Well,
the same song with the different.
Feel free. Please send them my way. That's great. Thank you so much for coming in, Ben. Brilliant to have you
Thank
here.
so much for having me.
Really love the EP, and of course those skinny list of dates, November and December across the country, and then loads to look forward to next year, a tour with Pet Needs, dates with Frank Turner, some touring of your own, and some more releases from Ben Brown.
Yes, and thank you again, John, for all of your support over the years and everything, and inviting me into London for the very first time.
And where should people go if they want to keep abreast of what you're up to?
If people want to keep abreast of what I'm up to, they can go to my social media pages. I've started a Patreon page,
Right.
Which is patreon.com/Ben Brown Music, where I have been endeavouring to upload a new track every week. So I'm trying to this actually was the track that I put up on Friday. So I wrote it. So I put it onto I think I've got 30 or so people on there. So I'm trying to get into the practice of writing and recording, and hoping that this kind of it turns into a tap, which kind of just keeps flowing out, and I'm able to write songs in an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I'd go to
Amazing.
Patreon, but on Instagram.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of, I was searching earlier, and there's a lot of Ben Browns, just as there are
it's
loads
annoying,
of John
isn't it?
Kennedys, and there are common names in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's Ben Brown Music, did you say? Is
Yeah,
it?
patreon.com/Ben Brown Music,
Yeah.
or Instagram @Ben Brown Instagram, or benbrownsongwriter@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And if you can come up with an alternative artist name instead of Ben Brown, then let me know.
Ben Brown's a good name.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with it. But it's just a way of making it stand out, from the
maybe
crowd.
The B could be an 8 and the O could be a 0. I don't know.
Excellent. Ideas welcome. Ben, thanks again for coming in. Brilliant to have you here. I'm going to let you go off now into the night, and I'm going to stick around, and I've got loads more music to come, including this weekend's joint Exposure Big One.
Exposure with John Kennedy.
Yeah, thank you so much, John.
That's okay. My pleasure. That was great. Really lovely. Yeah, really cool.
Looking for a laptop.
Yeah, sorry. I always have a meandering line of questioning, but
No, I like it. I like it. I'm meandering. I don't know if you can call it a line of answer, but
no, it's really good. And it's great. I mean, that sounds really cool on the Patreon thing. A good way to challenge yourself and force yourself to do things.
yeah,
In a way.
Yeah, it's
Although-
kind of there's kind of a group of people on there, and kind of made a commitment to them,
Yeah.
and then they've joined
Good.
up, and it kind of forces you to.
Yeah.
But then that commit that you can learn, and it gets you into the flow, which is good. And Catalina makes a custom artwork for each one as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which
So he's dragged you into this work.
Yeah.
it should really be, but we should really call it Ben and Catalina's.
Yeah.
Well, I guess but it could be that, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Your partner has got you this Dyson Airwrap. You'll cheat on your hairstylist after realising how
I didn't record anything. No, I did.
1,000 plus Trustpilot reviews and a 4.8 star rating. We're basically a 5-star restaurant, just without the food. And we were named the most popular mobile network at the Uswitch Telecoms Awards 2024. Join Labara from just £5 a month. Labara, the smarter mobile network.
Hey, Harry.
Hello, mate.
Got any tips?
Your best bet is to play Bet Victor's daily free-to-play guaranteed prize wheel.
What guaranteed prizes does this guaranteed prize wheel guarantee?
The guaranteed prize wheel means you're guaranteed to win prizes, like free bets, free spins, exclusive offers and cash. Guaranteed.
What was it called again?
The guaranteed prize wheel.
Well, I guarantee I'll give it a spin.
And I guarantee you'll win a prize.
Listen to Harry and make your best bet on Bet Victor's guaranteed prize wheel. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. Opt in and spin the wheel. Rewards expire 24 hours after claiming. GambleAware.org.
Jen knows stuff. Jen knows National Express has low fares throughout Christmas. Jen knows they'll even be running coaches on Christmas Day. Woohoo! Jen knows she's got a guaranteed seat that reclines so she can nod off to her Christmas playlist. Jen also knows she's on Dad's sofa this year. so best get some shut-eye whilst you can. Book now for fares from just £5 one way. If you know, you go. National Express. £1.50 booking fee.
Exposure with John Kennedy.
Radio X.
Here comes the longest night.